Welcome to IELTS Symphony. In this video, we will look at phrasal verbs. Phrasal verbs are important as they can enhance the quality of writing and beautify speaking. We certainly use a lot of them knowingly or unknowingly. The effort here is to help you revise them and introduce them to students who might have some confusion with phrasal verbs. These verbs are simple yet very effective in their usage. Let's jump into it. Come across, encounter, or find something unexpectedly. Example: during my travels, I came across a quaint little bookstore in the heart of the city. It implies a sense of surprise or happenstance. In the example provided, the speaker unexpectedly discovered a charming bookstore while exploring the city, suggesting that they did not plan or anticipate finding it beforehand. This phrase is commonly used to describe chance encounters or discoveries in various contexts. Look into, investigate, or examine something. The government promised to look into the issue of rising unemployment rates. This implies that the government will explore the causes, effects, and potential solutions related to the problem. Look into is commonly used in formal contexts, such as government announcements, as well as in everyday conversation when discussing research or inquiries into various topics. Bring up. Introduce a topic or start a discussion. Example: I decided to bring up the topic of climate change during the discussion. It is a phrasal verb that means to introduce a topic or initiate a discussion about something. Here, the speaker decided to start a conversation about climate change during the discussion. This implies that they raised the issue for consideration and dialogue among the participants. Bring up is commonly used in both formal and informal settings when initiating conversations or addressing specific subjects. Point out, highlight, or draw attention to something. Example: the teacher pointed out several mistakes in my essay. The teacher highlighted several mistakes in the essay by identifying them and bringing them to the author's attention. This implies that the teacher made the errors clear and noticeable for the purpose of correction or improvement. Point out is commonly used in various contexts, such as education, communication, and everyday conversation, to indicate the act of emphasizing or indicating specific information or details. Figure out, understand, or solve a problem. Example: it took me a while to figure out how to solve the math problem. In the example provided, the speaker struggled for a period of time before finally understanding how to solve the math problem. This implies that they engaged in a process of analysis or trial and error until they reached a solution. Figure out is commonly used in everyday language to describe the process of problem solving or gaining understanding, whether in academic, professional, or personal contexts. Put forward, propose, or suggest an idea. Example: she put forward a compelling argument in favor of renewable energy. Put forward is commonly used in formal and informal contexts to describe the act of advancing a suggestion, proposal, or viewpoint for consideration by others. Turn out, happen, or develop in a particular way. Example: the party turned out to be a great success, with everyone enjoying themselves. In the example provided, the party ended up being very successful, with everyone having a good time. This implies that the outcome of the party was positive and exceeded expectations. Turnout is commonly used to describe how events unfold or how situations ultimately develop, whether positively or negatively, compared to what was initially expected or anticipated. Go over, review, or examine something carefully. Example: let's go over the details of the project one more time to ensure we haven't missed anything. The speaker suggests reviewing the details of the project again to make sure nothing has been overlooked. This implies a careful and detailed examination of the project specifics. Go over is commonly used in various contexts, such as in academic studies, business meetings, and everyday tasks, to indicate the process of revisiting information or reviewing details for clarity or completeness. Make up, invent, or create a story or excuse. Example: I had to make up a convincing excuse for why I was late to the meeting. Make up is a phrasal verb that means to invent or create something, such as a story, excuse, or explanation. In the example provided, the speaker had to fabricate a believable excuse for being late to the meeting. This implies that they devised a story or explanation that may not be entirely truthful in order to explain their lateness. Make up is commonly used in situations where someone needs to provide a reason or explanation for something, whether genuine or fabricated. Settle down, calm down, or become established in a place. Example: after years of traveling, she decided it was time to settle down and start a family. The speaker expresses the decision to establish a more stable and permanent lifestyle by starting a family after a period of traveling. This implies a transition from a more transient or nomadic lifestyle to one that is more rooted and established. Settle down is commonly used to describe the process of establishing oneself in a particular location or situation, often associated with starting a family, pursuing a career. Take on, accept, or undertake a responsibility or challenge. Example: he decided to take on the challenge of climbing Mount Everest. In this example, the decision to accept the challenge of climbing Mount Everest implies that one is committed to facing the difficulties and obstacles associated with this endeavor. Take on is commonly used to describe the act of assuming or embracing a challenge, whether it be personal, professional, or physical in nature. Break down, analyze, or divide something into smaller parts. Example: the teacher broke down the complex concept into simpler terms for the students to understand. The teacher divided the complex concept into simpler terms in order to make it easier for the students to comprehend. This implies that the teacher dissected the idea or topic into its fundamental components for better understanding. Breakdown is commonly used in educational settings, problem-solving contexts, and discussions to describe the process of simplifying or analyzing complex information into more digestible parts. Bring about, cause something to happen. Example: the new policy brought about positive changes in the company culture. Bring about means to cause something to happen or to be the catalyst for a particular outcome or change. In the example provided, the implementation of the new policy resulted in positive changes in the company culture. This implies that the policy was instrumental in bringing about these improvements. Bring about is commonly used to describe the action of initiating or facilitating a specific result or transformation in various contexts, such as business, politics, or personal endeavors. Run into, encounter someone or something unexpectedly. Example: I ran into an old friend at the grocery store yesterday. Run into means unexpectedly meeting someone or something. In the example, the speaker unexpectedly met an old friend at the grocery store. It's a common way to describe chance encounters in everyday conversation. Bring out, release, or produce something for sale or distribution. The artist plans to bring out a new collection of paintings next month. Bring out means to release or produce something for sale or distribution. In the example, the artist intends to release a new collection of paintings next month. It's a common term used when discussing the launch of products or creative works. Remember to practice using these phrasal verbs in context to improve your fluency and accuracy during the speaking test.